It's a bit surprising when athletes forget they're on camera and do things like this during a game, or this in front during a soccer match which had about 5 billion viewers. These athletes became memes, but who are they really, and where are they now? Paraskevi, Belgrade 2017. The year is 2017, and the Belgrade Indoor Championships are in full swing. The arena is excited as the audience waits for the women's triple jump to commence. Among the athletes, a young Greek competitor, Paraskevi, stands out with her graceful frame and flowing hair. As the event progresses, Paraskevi approaches the jumping board, her eyes fixed on the distance ahead. With a swift and graceful motion, she launches herself into the air, her body extending outwards before landing smoothly in the sandpit. It is an impressive jump, and the crowd roars their approval. However, it is what happens next that truly captures the attention of those watching. As Paraskevi rises to her feet, a slight adjustment of her sports bra becomes a tantalizing moment captured forever by the cameras. In slow motion, the footage reveals a subtle shift of fabric, a hint of skin, and the subtle movement of her cheeks as she readjusts her tight-fitting sports bra. It is a moment of raw, athletic sensuality. Her face, flushed with the exertion of the jump, now bears a hint of embarrassment as she realizes her adjustment has been caught on camera. Yet her expression also reflects power and confidence. Paraskevi owns this moment, a moment of unapologetic femininity and strength. It reminds us that athletes like her are not just powerful, but also unashamedly sexy. As the competition continues, Paraskevi's jump and subsequent adjustment become one of the most talked about moments of the championships. It reminds us that sports are not just about records and medals, but also about the raw, unfiltered humanity of these incredible athletes. For Paraskevi, it is a moment forever frozen in time, a moment when her athletic prowess and natural sensuality collide in a captivating and unforgettable way. Shane Byrne. It was a moment of pure sensuality, and one that shocked the world of superbike racing. In 2013, champion Shane Byrne stood on the podium, a bottle of champagne in hand, celebrating another victory. But as the camera lenses focused on his face, he leaned forward and performed an act that would spark controversy and arousal in equal measure. Shane was seen crouching down, his face brightened with a mischievous smile playing on his lips. He aimed the champagne bottle under the skirt of a podium girl standing next to him, and with a quick, sharp movement, he pulled the cork, spraying a burst of frothy champagne directly onto her thighs and intimate area. The girl, dressed in a short form-fitting skirt and knee-high boots, let out a startled gasp, her eyes widening with surprise and a hint of pleasure. The cold, tingling sensation of the champagne must have sent a shiver through her body, and the wet fabric clinging to her skin left little to the imagination. Shane remained crouched, his intent clear, enjoying the power dynamic and the thrill of his daring action. Dele Alli. In the world of sports, emotions run high, and sometimes athletes let their guard down, revealing moments they might later regret. One such incident involved English footballer Dele Alli during a World Cup qualifier match against Slovakia on September 5, 2017. This match, held at the iconic Wembley Stadium, saw England clinch a narrow 2-1 victory. However, the scoreline wasn't the only thing that grabbed headlines. Dele Alli's controversial gesture during the game became the talk of the town. The incident occurred in the 77th minute of the match. Alli, known for his fiery temperament and competitive spirit, was involved in a rough challenge with Slovakia's Martin Skrtel. The challenge left Alli visibly frustrated, and he was seen flipping the bird in a moment of unfiltered emotion. The gesture was caught on camera and quickly went viral, sparking a heated debate about its intended target. The target of Alli's middle finger was initially unclear. Some speculated that it was directed at the referee, Clement Turpin, who had been officiating the match. If this were the case, Alli could have faced severe repercussions from UEFA, as the laws of football state that a player can be shown a red card for using offensive, insulting, or abusive language and gestures. Others believe the gesture was aimed at Martin Skrtel, the Slovakian defender who had just challenged Alli. Amid the controversy, Alli took to social media to clarify the situation. He tweeted, "Just to clarify, the gesture tonight was a joke. Between me and my good friend Kyle Walker, apologies for any offense caused. Great win tonight." Wide-angle pictures from ITV's camera footage emerged to support Alli's claim. In the footage, Alli is seen to the right of the frame, gesturing towards Walker, who is standing to his left. The referee, Clement Turpin, is looking in a completely different direction, seemingly unaware of the gesture. This evidence suggested that Alli's middle finger was indeed aimed at Walker, and not at the referee or Skrtel. Regardless of the intended target, a player can be shown a red card for using offensive, insulting, or abusive language and gestures. This meant that Alli could still face a ban if UEFA reviewed the incident. England manager Gareth Southgate was initially unaware of the gesture, but later commented, "Dele and Kyle were mucking about, and maybe Dele has gestured towards Kyle. They have a strange way of communicating." Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard, the Rockets' star center, was always known for his incredible defensive skills and his ability to dominate the court. However, on this particular night, Howard decided to use a little extra help to improve his grip on the basketball. Stickum spray, a substance commonly used by NFL players to help catch the football, found its way into the basketball court, a place where it was strictly prohibited. As the first quarter progressed, Howard checked back into the game. Paul Millsap was at the free throw line. Millsap made his first free throw without any issues, where Millsap notices something strange with the ball. But when Howard grabbed the ball to pass it back, Millsap noticed something unusual. The ball felt sticky, and Millsap immediately alerted the referees. The cameras captured every moment, from Millsap's puzzled expression to the referee's swift response. Official Monty McCutcheon took the ball and inspected it closely. He then went to each bench to issue a stern warning declaring, "Stickum is illegal in the NBA." The cameras didn't miss a beat, capturing the tension and confusion on the players' faces. McCutcheon first approached the Hawks bench before making his way to the Rockets' side. What happened next was nothing short of dramatic. Rockets interim head coach J.B. Bickerstaff was seen sliding in front of the can of Stickum spray, which was still at the scorer's table. It was a futile attempt to hide the evidence, as McCutcheon knew exactly what Bickerstaff was trying to conceal. The entire sequence was caught on camera, leaving no room for denial. Despite the clear violation, the referees decided not to penalize the Rockets. This decision sparked outrage among fans and analysts, who felt that Howard and the Rockets should have faced consequences for their actions. Howard, however, seemed unfazed by the controversy. When questioned after the game, he downplayed the incident, saying, "I don't know why people are making a big deal out of it. I do it every game. It's not a big deal. I ain't tripping." Howard's nonchalant attitude only added fuel to the fire. Fans took to social media to express their disbelief and frustration. Tom Haberstroh of ESPN reacted to the report by tweeting, "Rockets just got busted for Dwight Howard using Stickum." The story quickly went viral, with everyone weighing in on the scandal. Interestingly, the use of Stickum has a notorious history in the NFL. Hall of Fame wide receiver Jerry Rice once admitted that all players used it to gain an upper hand on the field. This comparison only served to highlight the absurdity of Howard's actions. Jason Patt of today's Fast Break humorously noted that Howard could have used some Stickum over a year ago, referencing the player's struggles with handling the ball. Tony Romo. The game was in the third quarter, and the Cowboys were facing a critical 3rd-and-1 situation. DeMarco Murray, the Cowboys' running back, took the handoff and charged forward. However, it appeared that he was tackled just short of the first down marker. The officials quickly moved in to spot the ball and prepare for a chain gang measurement to determine if the Cowboys had gained the necessary yardage. As the referees were setting up for the measurement, Tony Romo saw an opportunity. With the game hanging in the balance, Romo decided to try a little gamesmanship. He subtly used his right foot to nudge the ball forward, hoping to gain that extra inch needed for a first down. It was a bold move, and Romo likely thought he could get away with it. However, what Romo didn't realize was that the cameras were capturing every moment. Viewers at home, along with the Vikings players and officials, saw Romo's sneaky maneuver. The less than subtle tap of the ball was caught on camera, and it quickly became clear that Romo was trying to pull a fast one on the referees. The officials noticed the ball's suspicious movement and promptly placed it back in its original position. Romo's attempt to fool the referees had failed, and he might have only gained an inch at most. Vikings defensive end Jared Allen was not amused by Romo's gamesmanship. He appeared to be calling for a penalty on the quarterback, but the referees decided to let it slide. Despite the failed trickery, the Cowboys managed to pull off a win, beating the Vikings 27-23. After the game, Romo faced the media with a grin on his face. When asked about the incident, he claimed he was just playing around and even joked that he had slipped. "I was hoping they missed it. Actually, I slipped," Romo said with a smirk. Whether he was serious or not, the moment went down in NFL history as a classic example of gamesmanship caught on camera. Marty McSorley. The Los Angeles Kings were up against the Montreal Canadiens in the Stanley Cup Finals, and the tension was palpable. The Kings had won Game 1 in Montreal and were leading 2-1 in Game 2 with just 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the clock. It seemed like the Kings were on their way to securing a crucial victory. But then, Canadiens coach Jacques Demers made a bold and unexpected move that would turn the game and the series on its head. Demers called for a measurement of Marty McSorley's hockey stick. The cameras zoomed in as officials carefully examined the stick, and what they found was shocking. The blade of McSorley's stick was curved at least a quarter inch more than the legal limit set by the NHL. This revelation was a game changer. McSorley was penalized for using an illegal stick, and the Canadiens seized the opportunity. With McSorley serving his unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, Demers pulled goalie Patrick Roy, creating a 6-on-4 advantage. The Canadiens capitalized on this power play, and Eric Desjardins scored the tying goal. The momentum had shifted dramatically. Desjardins then scored again early in overtime, overtime, securing a win for the Canadiens. This victory was pivotal as the Canadiens went on to win the next 3 games, ultimately clinching the Stanley Cup. The fallout from this incident was immediate and intense. McSorley later admitted that his stick was indeed illegal, but he also claimed that the Canadiens had conducted a sneaky investigation of the Kings' sticks earlier in the series. According to McSorley, the Canadiens knew exactly which sticks to challenge, violating unwritten codes about sportsmanship and trade secrets. The Canadiens, however, denied these allegations, crediting Captain Guy Carbonneau for spotting the illegal stick on the ice. The controversy didn't end there. Luc Robitaille, a star player for the Kings, claimed that a Montreal policeman had told him the Canadiens had checked out the Kings' sticks on the sly. McSorley also mentioned that he had heard from 3 or 4 former Canadiens over the years who said they knew of 5 or 6 Kings sporting illegal sticks. The story took on a life of its own, with fans and media keeping it alive for years. Despite the controversy, McSorley readily acknowledged that his stick violated the rules. He insisted, however, that he didn't make it that way. According to McSorley, that's how the sticks arrived from the factory, and other players used the same curve without ever getting penalized. In fact, McSorley said he used sticks with the same curve in the next 2 finals games with no penalty. Will Smith. On May 21, 2015, during a game between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Atlanta Braves, Milwaukee Brewers relief pitcher Will Smith found himself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. The towering 6'5" southpaw was ejected in the 7th inning for having a foreign substance on his arm. This incident occurred during a game that ended in a 10-1 loss for the Brewers. The drama unfolded when Braves manager Fredi Gonzalez noticed something suspicious on Smith's arm and asked the umpires to investigate. Crew chief Jim Joyce approached Smith, who had only thrown 4 pitches with 1 out and the bases loaded. The umpires discovered a sticky substance on Smith's non-throwing arm, which was later identified as a mixture of rosin and sunscreen. Smith claimed he had applied the mixture while warming up and simply forgot to remove it before taking the mound. The cameras captured every moment of this bizarre scene, from the umpires inspecting Smith's arm to his unceremonious exit from the game. The footage quickly went viral, with CBS Sports MLB even jokingly suggesting it could be homemade peach preserves on Smith's forearm. The incident was particularly bitter for Smith, who had attended high school in nearby Noonan, Georgia, and was looking forward to a triumphant homecoming. The aftermath of this incident was swift and severe. Major League Baseball announced the following day that Smith would be suspended for 8 games. Smith immediately appealed the decision, but the damage was already done. The Brewers' bullpen struggled in his absence, and the team's already challenging season became even more difficult. Braves manager Fredi Gonzalez didn't hold back in his post-game comments, describing the substance on Smith's arm as pretty blatant and noting that it was visible even under the stadium lights. This incident highlighted the lengths to which some players might go to gain an edge and underscored the importance of vigilance and integrity in the sport. The rest of Milwaukee's bullpen didn't do the club any favors, proceeding to get tagged by the Braves in a 7-run bottom of the 7th inning. Although 3 of those runs were charged to starter Matt Garza, Atlanta's lead swelled to 8-1, effectively sealing the game. The Brewers had struggled with both hitting and pitching that season, so losing Smith during his suspension was a significant blow. Despite the controversy, Smith had been a rare bright spot for Milwaukee, posting a 2.84 ERA and 18 strikeouts in just 12.2 innings. Rivaldo Ferreira. It was June 3, 2002, and the match between Brazil and Turkey was fiercely contested. Brazil, known for its football prowess, was expected to dominate, but Turkey proved to be a formidable opponent. The game was intense, with both teams displaying exceptional skill and determination. As the match neared its conclusion, Brazil was leading 2-1, but the drama was far from over. In the 87th minute, Turkey's Hakan Ünsal, who had already received a yellow card, kicked the ball towards Rivaldo Ferreira. Rivaldo was standing near the corner flag, preparing to take a corner kick. The ball struck Rivaldo on the shin, but what followed was a moment of sheer theatrics that would be remembered for years to come. Rivaldo collapsed to the ground, clutching his face as if he had been struck by a devastating blow. Seeing Rivaldo's exaggerated reaction, the referee immediately showed Ünsal a second yellow card, resulting in a red card and his expulsion from the game. The Turkish team and their fans were outraged, but the decision stood. Brazil went on to win the match, but the controversy surrounding Rivaldo's actions overshadowed their victory. The cameras had captured every detail of the incident. The footage clearly showed that the ball had hit Rivaldo's shin, not his face. The world watched in disbelief as the replay was broadcasted repeatedly, exposing Rivaldo's act of simulation or play acting. The backlash was swift and severe. FIFA, the governing body of world football, took immediate action. Rivaldo was fined £4,500 and ordered to pay £680 in costs for his unsportsmanlike behavior. Despite the criticism, Rivaldo remained unapologetic. In an interview, he admitted to to his actions but justified them by saying, "In soccer, you have to be sly. It happens a lot and it will happen a lot in this World Cup." He added, "My experience counts. I think he deserved to be sent off, but of course he didn't get me in a place where I could be hurt. The ball touched my leg, but the other player was wrong to kick the ball at me. I said sorry to him, but that's football." Rivaldo's teammate Roberto Carlos defended him, stating that such tactics were part of the game and could make the difference between winning and losing. Many people think Rivaldo's attitude was incorrect. In my opinion, it wasn't. "I myself have simulated many fouls and penalties that the referee called," Carlos said. "It's moves like that that can make you world champion. You have to be intelligent. Brazilians have always managed to get other players ejected using their intelligence." Dyson, a seasoned professional with 14 years on the European Tour, was competing in the BMW Masters held on October 2013. During the tournament's second round, Dyson found himself in a situation that would lead to his disqualification and a significant fine. The incident occurred on the 8th green, a moment that would be captured by cameras and scrutinized by officials and fans alike. As Dyson marked his ball on the green, he noticed a spike mark in his line of putt. In a moment of what he later described as a momentary aberration, Dyson used his ball to press down the spike mark. This action is a clear violation of the rules of golf, which strictly prohibit players from improving their line of putt by pressing down spike marks. The rules are in place to ensure fair play and maintain the integrity of the game. Dyson's action did not go unnoticed. The cameras caught the moment, and the footage was reviewed by tournament officials. Dyson failed to add the mandatory two-shot penalty to his scorecard, leading to him signing for an incorrect score. This oversight resulted in his immediate disqualification from the BMW Masters. The European Tour took the incident seriously and launched an investigation. Dyson was summoned before a disciplinary panel chaired by Ian Mill QC. The panel also included former European Tour player Gordon Brand Jr. and Richard Bevan, head of the League Managers Association. The panel's task was to determine the appropriate sanctions for Dyson's breach of the rules. During the hearing, several factors were taken into consideration. The panel noted that Dyson had no prior history of misconduct during his 14 years on the tour. They also acknowledged that his actions were not premeditated but rather a momentary lapse in judgment. Despite these mitigating factors, the panel decided that a penalty was necessary to uphold the integrity of the sport. The disciplinary panel handed Dyson a 2-month ban from the European Tour. However, this ban was suspended for 18 months, meaning that as long as Dyson committed no further breaches of the rules during this period, the suspension would not take effect. In addition to the suspended ban, Dyson was fined £30,000 and ordered to pay £7,500 in costs. In a statement released after the decision, Dyson expressed his regret over the incident. He stated, "I would like to say at this stage that I have never deliberately broken the rules either on this occasion or in the past. It was only after I was shown the replay of my action, after marking the ball on the 8th green during the second round, that I realized what I had done and that I was in breach. I immediately accepted that I should be disqualified." Dyson went on to apologize to his fellow professionals and the European Tour for any inconvenience and embarrassment caused by his actions. He emphasized that his conduct was not a deliberate act of cheating, but an accidental mistake. Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed, a name that has become synonymous with both golfing brilliance and controversy, found himself once again in the eye of a storm during the Hero World Challenge in December 2019. The tournament, held at the picturesque Albany course in New Providence, Bahamas, was supposed to be a showcase of Reed's exceptional skills. Instead, it turned into a scandal that would be talked about for years to come. During the third round of the tournament, Reed found himself in a precarious position on the par 5 11th hole. His ball lay in a depression in the sand of a waste bunker, a challenging lie that would test any golfer's mettle. As he prepared to play his third shot, Reed took 2 practice swings. It was these seemingly innocuous practice swings that would lead to a significant controversy. The cameras, ever vigilant, captured Reed moving sand from behind the ball during his practice swings. According to Rule 8.1a(4) of the golf rulebook, a player is not allowed to remove or press down on sand or loose soil to improve the conditions affecting the stroke. Reed's actions were a clear violation of this rule, and the footage left little room for interpretation. After completing his round, Reed was informed of the violation by a rules official. The official, having reviewed the replay, determined that Reed had indeed moved sand from behind the ball, thereby improving his lie. The penalty for such an infraction was a 2-stroke penalty, a significant setback in any competitive round of golf. Reed, known for his fiery demeanor and competitive spirit, did not take the news lightly. He pleaded his case to the official, arguing that a different camera angle would have shown that his club was not directly behind the ball. He claimed that his club was far enough away and that he did not feel it dragged through the sand. However, the replay was clear in the eyes of the officials. The moving of sand from behind the ball was a violation, and the penalty stood. I wish the cameras were actually directly on the side of me, Reed said afterward, because it was in a pretty good footprint, and I felt like my club was that far behind the ball when I was actually taking the practice stroke, which I felt like I was taking it up, and it was hitting a little sand. I didn't feel it drag. The penalty turned what would have been a bogey 6 into a triple bogey 8, dropping Reed from 1 stroke off the lead to 3 strokes back after a 2 over 74. Reed, who had started the day with a 3-stroke advantage, saw his chances of winning the tournament diminish significantly. In his post-round interview, Reed expressed his disappointment with the outcome. He lamented the decision but acknowledged that he had to move on and focus on the final round. At the end of the day, you've got to let things kind of roll off your shoulders, he said. I still have a whole other round to play. If I stew over something that I felt like I didn't intentionally do, at the end of the day, it's my word versus their word.
If you enjoyed watching this video, check out our other awesome videos on the channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.